Matt, right here in front of you. You had said at Media Day, no one is going to outdog me in that octagon, and you showed it tonight. How good did that feel?
It felt amazing, and there's no better feeling when all the hard work pays off.
Yeah, and the first guy to knock out Drew since April 2011, 29 fights for him. Were you confident that if you were able to land, that was what was going to happen?
Yeah, you know, on my best day, there's nobody in the world that I can't beat. I believe in my skills. I believe in my power, and if I hit anybody clean, they could get knocked out.
The demeanor is just so much more confident right now. Is it purely just a product of getting the results that you've been looking for, or is there something else we're not seeing, in the cage that's leading to this?
Yeah, honestly, I've been doing this for a while now, and I know I'm good. I know that I'm capable, and I just need the opportunity. And we got the opportunity against a high-ranked guy. And I landed and I finished. But, I know that I'm human as well. He could have easily landed on me and finished me. But I was in there and I did what I needed to do. I landed and I finished.
And, of course, the Paddy Pimblett call-out once again. Is it almost like the more success that you have and the higher you climb, the fight almost gets more unrealistic in a way because you might be a little bit past him?
No, I think the fight makes sense. He's 4-0 in the UFC. He has to fight somebody. Why not me?
Do you think it will happen?
Yeah, I've been saying it's only a matter of time. He's been ignoring my calls for a minute, but I guarantee you he heard that one.
What's the timeline on it, though? Because he's saying with this injury, he might not even be able to fight this year. So are you willing to wait, or are you just going to keep being active? And if you have to do one more, and then maybe it comes up after then, or that's timing seems to be maybe the biggest issue.
We'll see. We'll see. I like MSG in November. Sounds pretty good to me.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on a lovely Superman punch you landed in the fight. That was something new. With Drew, he got up and started complaining, but once he stood there, you could see he was a little bit woozy. Do you think it was a fair stoppage?
Yeah, I gotta watch the fight, but yeah.
If you could have scripted this, right, knocking out a guy who's notoriously hard to knock out, being able to cut a great promo afterwards and having the crowd react like that, was this up there with as good as you could have imagined?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I was prepared to wrestle him too, but we landed and we finished him, and I remember he dropped, and I'm just hammering. I'm working for the finish, just keep punching, and I was getting flashbacks of the Valdez fight, and but Herb stepped in there and stopped it. Thank God.
Did you have the Paddy call out pre-written in your head, or was it just off the cuff?
I must have heard the Chael Sonnen thing, and that was just stuck in my head, but. I know I called him a bitch. I hope that ESPN didn't bleep that one out.
We heard it.
All right, yeah. But, that's it. He's got to stop being a bitch.
Do you think, obviously, right, you said he's ignored your previous call-outs, but he had to have heard this one, which is pretty fair. If he ignores this one, is it safe to say at that point he just will never have any interest in fighting you and was trying to avoid you?
Until he takes that loss in the UFC, I want to be the first one to beat him in the UFC. I like to do things that nobody's done. My last 2 fights, I beat undefeated guys. This fight, I knocked out Drew Dober, who's never been knocked out. I want to be the first one to beat Paddy Pimblett in the octagon.
Hey, Matt. Over here. Congratulations, man. Talking about Paddy, how does a fight between you two go?
It'd be a fun one. I love the energy he brings to the octagon, the crowd that he brings. And then he goes for it on the feet too, he throws on the feet, and then he's got high-level grappling. And I think that's what excites me the most, because I love jiu-jitsu as well. And, I see him tapping out Marines and stuff. I'm like, come on, how about me next? I'm a soldier. I was an Army vet in the Army for 8 years. Come on, try to tap me out.
And which win was better, do you think? I know there's some recency bias, obviously, but tonight or your win at MSG?
Dude, they were both so good, honestly. It's always the next one's always the best one. They're both amazing. all 3 of the last 3 fights, they were all amazing.
And then Dana said the other day that they have plans to come back to Madison Square Garden this year. I know you won Paddy. I'm not sure how that timeline lines up, but do you want to get back at MSG soon?
Yeah, I think I've been on average fighting, about every 6 months. My hand feels a little messed up. Hopefully it's not broken, but yeah, I think November MSG, I always have that starred. I like to get that fight in right before Thanksgiving, right before Christmas. I got this was a nice time to fight. Now I get to go enjoy summertime in Long Island. I'm going to take my wife to Italy. We're going to have a nice vacation. Going to be jacked and tan all summer. Try to stay in shape. Try not to be the cream roller. Yeah, we'll see. Gotta go back to the gym, get back into the gym, help out my team with whatever they need. Whoever's got the next fight coming up, I'm there for sparring for them, and we reassess and we keep leveling up.
Matty. Well,
Yeah, Ike.
can I call you Matty?
Yeah, you're my boy, dude.
Ike Feldman with NBC Sports. Great performance, Matty. Where does this rank on the all-time steamroller performances?
I mean, pretty high. I think knocking out a legend like Drew Dober, who's never been knocked out, is awesome. I think the last one at MSG was very sweet because Ottman needed to get knocked out. He needed to be humbled, and we had a good backstory. But I just beat number 14 in the world, so I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I can say that, very confidently now.
And at what point did you know during the week or tonight or till it was finally over that you were going to win this? And did Drew Dober's jaw throw you off by any point?
I knew that I was capable of doing this since I got offered the fight. I know that I'm capable of beating anybody in the world, given the opportunity and given the right amount of time to have a good fight camp. Giga Chad had a nice chin all week, but he's the nicest guy, man. He's weirdly nice, but he's a good dude.
Amazing. And for many that don't know, the Bulldozer, your father, extremely supportive. You have an amazing support system. How much does your father mean to you in your fighting career and outside of fighting, of course?
It means the world to me. I do this to bring my family, bring my friends on the ride with me. And I'm just so blessed, and I thank God that I have this opportunity and I could bring my dad, I could bring my brother, I could bring my family, my friends, my team. I can bring them all with me because that's what I love to do. We're enjoying the ride.
My final thing, Paddy walks out to a really good pump-up song, Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs. I think that's what it is. You obviously walk out to a great song. Whose song is better?
Come on, the trumpets don't lose.
Matt, over here. Congratulations on a big win. And are you noticing every single time you go out there, you're becoming a huge fan favorite? And all throughout the entire week, people were screaming, cheering. It was deafening. Steamroller Mania is running wild. Are you noticing you're becoming a huge fan favorite across the board?
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Do you contribute that because you're completely being your authentic self? You're not playing a character. Do you attribute that as also with your great fighting style?
Yeah. I think I'm just becoming more comfortable. I've been in the UFC for 5 years now, and I think my body of work speaks for itself. And I'm hoping. Actually, I don't even want to say it yet. Because I'll jinx myself. But maybe I'll get a bonus finally. Oh.
It's a good possibility.
Yeah. Let's not jinx it.
And you talked about the importance of family, friends. Obviously, there are many GOATs, but I think your brother is the brother of all time. And, in front of your hometown crowd, the East Coast, and having all your fans, family, everything in attendance, how important is that as far as not only just having a great teammates, but a great support system as family and friends and fans in the attendance?
It means everything to me. And the cheese, shout out to the cheese roller. He helps me out a lot behind the scenes. I don't let him shadowbox all fight week because I don't want to look at it. But now after the fight, now you can shadow box, and so. But thank you, bro.
Awesome. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
Hey, Matt, down here to your left. The other left, yeah. You're a Mets fan. As am I, so yeah, I know.
Let's go Mets.
Did you see Steve Cohen in the front row watching your fight?
No, I was looking around for him. I didn't see him, but I was hanging out with him in the suite last week. Him and Alex and Josh, and hyping up the fight. You know, I'm just so happy I was able to show out for him.
He came out specifically for your fight, by the way.
No, it was awesome.
What did you say to him when you met him in the suite at Citi Field?
I just, I told him that I got a big fight coming up, and I'm ready to go. I'm fighting number 14 in the world, so it's a huge fight. And I told him that him and Alex and Josh need to come out to the fight and enjoy. He's never been to a UFC fight, so I was telling him about the energy and how the UFC puts on such a good show. And I'm glad that he made it out.
Thanks, man. Unlike the Mets, you won the fight, so.
Yeah, we're coming though. You don't want to start too hot in baseball. We got a long season. We're coming.
Matt, over here to your right. Hey, so obviously you're talking about Paddy Pimblett, and there are tons of benefits to fighting someone who's as visible as Paddy, but I mean, you just beat someone with a number next to their name. You might even have a number next to your name coming week here. Do you kind of change maybe a little bit of your mindset of, hey, maybe I should start looking up the rankings even more now that I might be getting into that range?
No, I don't think so. But we go back to the gym. We reassess. I kind of take a look at the landscape of when I want to fight, what makes sense, whose schedules line up. But look at Drew Dober. He gave me the opportunity. He didn't have to fight back in the rankings and do that. I think that there's a lot of fun, exciting fights. In the lightweight division in the UFC, not just ranked guys. But we'll see. My goal is to be a world champ, but I think styles make fights, and exciting fights is what fires me up. Opponents that really, get my blood going. When I hear an opponent and I think about a fight, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that. That's something I want. I get that little tingle in my ball sack. I get that going, and then I get excited about it. Like Drew Dober, I got that. I was like, oh yeah, that's one I want. So we'll see.
You do a lot of your best work kind of from the outside of the cage. You've gotten, obviously, you busted up Dober tonight, working from the outside, and last fight you had against Zaitar, you knocked him out when you were back against the cage here. Is that something you really like being in that position? That's not really necessarily the most preferable.
I don't know. I mean, Coach, we're doing a lot of movement, right?
It's looking good.
We're doing a lot of movement, and then
Fight with his head.
we're fighting with our head.
Not using his head, fighting with his head.
There you go. But I mean, honestly, I could fight well, backing up. I could fight well going forward. So it's I can fight any way.
That last fight you had in the Madison Square Garden, it wasn't you didn't really get the chance to get as going as this one did, because this was 4 minutes, the other one was 2.5 minutes. I think there was a lot more strikes thrown here as well, and in that time, you really got to bust up Drew Dober. You really kind of were landing here and there, landing some really good shots, as opposed to kind of that one that kind of, or a couple punches that really put down Zaitar last time. Does it kind of mean any more that you were able to get some real work in there and not just get a knockout, but kind of beat him along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to watch the fight. I just, I was throwing my shots, and I feel like until I watch the fight, I'm the same way in sparring. I have to record all my sparring sessions, because after sparring, I'm just like, oh man, I was lazy. I didn't do anything good. And then I watch my sparring back, and I'm like, all right, I did pretty good. So even thinking back at the fight, I know I landed some shots, but I know I whiffed at some shots. I know my back was against the cage. My feints weren't too good. I think I only shot once and didn't even really commit. I didn't land any knees. I didn't land any elbows. I landed a couple kicks, but not the combos. I have to rewatch the fight, and then I can really but I'm excited to.
You also seem to avoid some of his best shots too. Like there were some things coming your way, and you were able to just get out of the way of those. So it seemed like you were able to land without getting hit too hard either. You must be proud of that.
Yeah, man, I got killers in the gym throwing bombs at me, like Dennis Bazooka and Nazim Sodikov and, you know, Dylan Montello, and we got so many, Justin Montavo, you know, Charlie Campbell, and these are just our lightweights. Like, we got such a good team, you know, all led by our fearless leader, Ray Longo, and iron sharpens iron, and, you know, I'm excited for the future.
Congrats on the win. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just one quickly here in front of you, Matt. You mentioned the Marines video that Paddy did. Did that kind of personally offend you in some way? Did that upset you watching him do that?
Nah. I mean, nah. But you know, I know that he was there and he helped out the Marines and did some cool stuff with them. But you know, try to tap me, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.